Hours. A muggy night tonight with some warm temperatures after a hot day. Slow drop off of those temperatures. Early in the morning should be about 70s to near 80 degrees. Some spots may even be above that. Your afternoon tomorrow brings in the sunshine once again. The slim chance of a storm. That's going to be repeated again on Friday with all that heat. Be in that number when the New Orleans Saints play the Miami Dolphins in London. What better combination for your vacation than the pure excitement of London and the sophistication of Paris? Package includes airfare to London and return from Paris with Delta Airlines. Hotel for 4 nights in London. Eurostar from London to Paris. Hotel for 3 nights in Paris. Daily breakfast, hotel taxis, and transfers to and from airport. September 28th through October 6th from $19.99 per person at TravelCentralVacations.com. 504-834-7000. Ralph Sanji, WGSO.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last president of the United States of America.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy.
And hey everybody, we're live, Battle in New Orleans Radio here on WGSO 990 AM. And we are here with our in-studio guest, Frank Scurlock, candidate for mayor of the city of New Orleans. And we're also here with Mr. Baptiste Nooney, man, that's going to be running for city council, District D as in David. And we'll also have a calling guest later on in the show.
Yeah, I wanted to say one thing. This is Goyam here. You know, Nathan's not going to be in studio tonight. You know, he's going to be back next week for all the listeners. And I wanted to let our listeners know, and Caleb Hitt, if you're listening right now in Ohio, you know, he's our special correspondent there, thedailyresistance.com. You know, he's going through an issue right now with his mother. His mother might be passing away any hour now. She's really doing bad. Having some health issues. She's been going through a lot the last couple of weeks. So our prayers are going out to Caleb Hitt. If you're listening, man, we love you. And, you know, we'll see you when everything clears up. And we're sorry to hear what's going on with your family. And our prayers are for you and your mother and everybody involved. So, anyways,
yeah, Caleb, we're going to be saying a lot of prayers for you, brother. You know, I'm sorry to hear about the horrible news that's going on with your mother's illness. So we will definitely be praying for you. But I want to go ahead and introduce our guest. We have Mr. Frank Scurlock, who is the candidate for the mayor position here in the city of New Orleans. How you doing tonight, Frank?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. Really excited about some great things happening in our city, and we're even more excited about getting ready to release my war and campaign on crime, because that's one thing, no matter how great our other problems are, we got to stop that tonight. And that's why this is the Battle of New Orleans.
Yeah, man. And then what are you going to do to attack the crime? What's one of your main plans to attack the crime?
It's real simple. It's whatever it takes, because obviously what we have going on right now doesn't work. And quite frankly, we've been polling and surveying our great men in blue out there. But it's not that we only need a lot more of them. We obviously need them trained. But the reality is they're held back by some silly laws and things that currently the city council have passed along the way that actually restricts the activity. Quite frankly, we ought to take the gloves off and let them do what they're been charged and empowered to do. And that's the very first thing. We obviously need to pay them well. We need to give them the resources, but we have no choice. At this point in time, it's whatever it takes to get it done. And it's kind of ironic, just yesterday when the sheriff of the neighboring county or parish announces he's going to be resigning at the end of this month. Quite frankly, we need to call in not only his help, but anybody's help to come make a difference in this city, because until we get a grip on that, there's nothing more important than personal safety.
And, you know, I agree with you, Frank. You know, the police department is understaffed by about 800 to 1,000 officers. And, you know, we have a lot of officers as well that aren't even fully up to date in reference to knowledge upon the laws that they are took an oath to uphold. Mr. Baptiste, what do you think about the crime in New Orleans?
I think about the crime in New Orleans that We got to get jobs. We also got to look at the poverty rate. You got 52% of the African American males don't have a job. You got 39% of the kids living in poverty. So we got to attack poverty and crime together. And when you start getting economics, then you'll get rid of the crime.
Right, definitely.
Hey,
I
one
agree
thing,
with that.
guys. I know Mitch Landrieu is doing a town hall meeting tomorrow night. Who's going to that?
I'll be there. I'm
Frank,
greatly
you got a
looking forward to it.
ticket? You got a ticket, my man?
My whole team has tickets.
I'm not going to Mitch Landrieu thing because Mitch Landrieu is talking about he's trying to live his legacy, but his legacy ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? His legacy ain't nothing. Mitch has done nothing for the people of New Orleans.
Well, let me say one thing. What's happening in New Orleans? We talked a lot on the show about Agenda 21. Walt Isaacson behind Mitch Landrieu. The whether from all angles, whether it be the issues we saw with the monuments, we saw this gentrification. Predominantly African American neighborhoods are being outpriced. People from the Northeast are now coming in. And they're predominantly African American neighborhoods are now being outpriced to even live there anymore. And this gentrification is being formatted by these globalists like Walt Isaacson, Aspen Institute. Mitch Landrieu's got his fingerprints all over that. LaToya Cantrell's got her fingerprints all over that too. And you're seeing all this stuff going on. You're seeing the crime being used as a weapon to clear out people because white people are scared, black people are scared. Everybody's scared of this crime variable, like Frank said, and guess what? People are leaving. They love the city, but they're leaving the city, and these guys are buying up whole blocks of the city. So you're dealing with all these variables, and I know Nathan Lawrence is actually on hold. We got a couple other callers already in here, but if you guys want to talk to our two guests, you can call up anytime between now and 9 o'clock at 504-556-9696. But I wanted to get y'all's take on that. We're coming up on the 300th birthday of the city, and I mean, right now we're a divided city. The crime's out of control.
Yes.
These globalists are pushing their agenda.
Yes.
And we're gonna need independent candidates like you guys to break this cycle. That's what we're gonna need.
100%. Quite frankly, today at the city council chambers for over 3 hours, they had the utility, cable, telecom, and technological committee. I sat there and listened to a city council that is absolutely clueless that is part of the system, what's going on. They actually tried to say that the average utility bill in the city of New Orleans is $109 before taxes. Is there anybody in this room that has a $109 bill?
No, I wish I did.
I mean, and then they tried to say how we're so much better than other cities, like in Spartanburg, South Carolina or so, they had like $135. And the big debate was about the new proposed plant out near the Michoud facility. And they had all of the energy executives. They have more than 20 of them there in coat and ties. And then on the other side of the room are all the residents, the constituents that could hardly afford it. You talk about affordable housing. It's not only affordable housing, it's affordable cost of living. I interviewed a young man after that. He was 33 years old, had 4 kids. His cable bill is over $200. That's basic cable and internet. He can't make it. And until we get reality and have competition, not only in cable, but you can actually have competing power companies. And when the energy people heard me say that, they're like, holy camole. But it can be done, and most importantly, it should be done.
Well, what I'm looking at doing, that, Frank didn't say it a lot, but I want to go at the homeless. I want to go at them effectively. Let me tell you, I just want to share a quick story. Neath the bridge at Claiborne and Canal, I'm walking. They had a little 3-year-old child with a sign that said, feed me. Feed me. And I only had $10 in my pocket. I said, I'll be right back. I walked home, got 40, gave the mama 50. But our city councilmen, they don't care about that. Those people are neath the bridge every day, and their bills are so high. Some people are living one check from poverty.
I dropped off a couch there one time, and the next day the city came and picked it up.
That's right.
They had 4 people sleeping on it, and the next day I drove by, and those same people told me the city came and took it.
But guess what? They even got city workers still making $7.25 an hour. One lady been there 23 years. Jared Broussette and the council passed the ordinance for $10.55, but that was just for the people. And then they went behind closed doors, and the people been still going to court right now. They just went to court and they keep moving it back. But $7.25 an hour is like Frank saying, nobody don't care about these people. The
Right.
city council is clueless. They are so clueless that, I'm not saying me, whoever get in the seat, we gotta be about the people.
We
some fresh
need
blood,
a complete clean sweep. We're actually going to be unveiling in about 4 weeks from now a complete clean sweep. Because keep in mind, it's not just the mayor at stake here. It's everybody, every city council position, every council at large. And it takes a united clean.
Hold that thought, Frank. Listen, we'll be back with our guests. Call us back. We'll be right back. Battle in New Orleans Radio.
All right.
Enjoy fresh fruit grown in your yard. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com delivers and installs fruit trees and fruiting vines to your home or condo. Proudly serving Kenner, Metairie, and New Orleans. Apples, apricots, blackberries, citrus, figs, grapes, peaches, pears, persimmons, plums, and raspberries. All the trees and fruiting vines are grown right here in South Louisiana. Check out the Fruit Tree Guide for more information and visit JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com today. It's a great time to plant. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com. As the corporate media dies, MetroNow.com and TheDailyResistance.com continue to give you a decentralized and independent take on the latest current events as well as historical reference to help you wade through the propaganda of the prostitute media. Our mission is to inform the people of New Orleans about the issues of freedom, health, world events, and much more so that we as a community can thrive in the 21st century. Only with an informed public will we truly be free and independent. So take a look at MetroNow.com or TheDailyResistance.com as your independent news source.
Whether you're in the real estate market to buy, sell, lease, or looking for someone just to manage your properties, look no further than Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties. She has 34 years experience and is an expert of all of the latest programs available to homeowners. She has been my trusted realtor for years now. So please call Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties at 504-858-9293. That's 504-858-9293. Renovations Your Way. They renovate to fit your needs with complete customer service from start to finish that goes way beyond the job. With over 20 years experience, and they are fully insured, and they support the Battle of New Orleans Radio to unite the metro area in the fight for liberty.
Visit us on the web at renovationsyourway.com or call me, Daniel, at 985-402-5916. That's 985-402-5916. renovationsyourway.com. Mention you heard about us on Battle of New Orleans Radio and receive a 10% discount.
Does your house have a clogged up toilet, faulty electrical wires, or AC or heater just isn't blowing properly? Well, call Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. Also specializes in new construction and covers the whole New Orleans metro area. So please, call our friend Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. That's 985-781-0418.
Ooh-wee. Hey, David, that smell good. What you eating on?
Man, I'm eating on some shrimp I got from J&N Big Easy Seafood.
Man, I had to get me some of that.
Yeah, bro, they specialize in the delivery, catering of 20 pounds or more boiled or live shrimp, crawfish, catfish, crabs, frog legs, and much more.
And how do I get in touch with J&N's Big Easy Seafood?
Just call them up. Call 985-640-8822. That's 985-640-8822.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last president of the United States of America.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
Hey, Machiavelli.
And we are, as a people, inherently...
And everybody, we're back. Battle of New Orleans Radio right here in the heart of New Orleans in the CBD in New Orleans, Louisiana. And we're here with Frank Scurlock, candidate for mayor of the city of New Orleans. And we're also here with Mr. Baptiste, candidate for City Council District D in New Orleans. And we're just talking about a lot of things. You know, we were talking about crime was one of the main things. We're also talking about a few other things as well. But what I wanted to get into, guys, is some of the other mayoral candidates what's the deal with them? I mean, I understand that Miss Charbonnet has some things that are kind of, in her some skeletons in the closet, and then I also know that Miss Cantrell has the same. I don't know too much about Bagnaris. I know that Mr. Baptiste has a lot of information in reference to this. But I mean, what y'all's take?
That's incredibly simple. The reality is, where do we want to go as a city? My three opponents actually have a career 10-year plus tenure as some type of elected or appointed position. In this case, it's two judges. Judges means lawyers, means legal thing. And who wants to be involved with a lawyer? Who wants to go before the criminal justice system? And then the other person, Miss LaToya Cantrell, she actually is says she's from Los Angeles. She says she's broke. She just had the articles come out in the newspaper that issued. She has some unique situations coming down. She's trying to say is a mistake at a bank, but that's not up for me to make the decision. But the reality is they're politicians. I'm not a politician. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. I create jobs. I create opportunity. And just like my fellow guests here tonight, it's all about economic stimulation. Quite frankly, that's one of the big problems with New Orleans. If you look downtown New Orleans, look at our skyscrapers, which we have, but they really don't have any names on them. We virtually have no Fortune 500 companies. The only thing we have even close to that is the utility company, Energy, that takes money from us and actually taxes us. So that's crazy. And quite frankly, when I was at the City Hall chambers today, they were talking about building this new infrastructure and then not only charging the people a surcharge for it, but then bill us to use it. I mean, quite frankly, we need to get some solar power down here immediately, and there are federal incentives to hook up. I want to get off the grid, and I want to start enjoying our life. And most people don't realize my history, but my dad invented the inflatable amusement ride called Spacewalk, and I took that from a garage here in New Orleans. It was built right on 511 North Solomon, and we opened up over 300 locations nationwide over 15 years. And I sold my company last October so I could pursue other ventures. Namely, I've been working on the redevelopment of the Six Flags project out of New Orleans East that's been vacant and abandoned for over 10 years since Katrina. We anticipate with the reopening of that, not only a theme park, not only a water park, not only a resort hotel, but an international shopping center that would create no less than 10,000 jobs within 36 months. That, my friend, is how you eradicate crime. You give people opportunity, you give them jobs, you give them ability to feed themselves, but most importantly, you give them quality of life. That's the issue here. And it doesn't say you have to have $100,000 a year to live or $10,000. It's quality of life. And as I said it before, and I'll say it again till I'm blue in the face, currently nothing matters until we have our personal protection. And it doesn't matter if you're a retiree, have a job, or you're here in town with a convention. I mean, look what just happened with the two conventioneers getting taken out on Bienville Street. When that becomes national news, the conferences are going to stop coming. I was at the convention center earlier today, and at least we had the veterans of foreign war. And I got to tell you, those are some tough people over there. And if anybody messed with them, they're going to make news because they're going to take out the bad guys. The next conference we have in town, perhaps it's the dancers or perhaps it's the gift show. But when those people get affected, it will make national news in a bad light, and that is what we can't afford because currently our economy is more than 50% on tourism, and if the tourism dries up, just like it does in the summer, that's why the crime's high right now. It's hot. The opportunities there, especially the service industry that kind of rises and falls with who's in town. It doesn't have to be that. We need distribution. We need light manufacturing. We need heavy manufacturing. Let's not forget that out in eastern New Orleans, we have the Michoud Assembly Facility that built the external tank for the space shuttle. It built the Saturn V rockets. And there's over 8 miles of infrastructure in place waiting for development. What they need is an entrepreneur leader to go out and invite people to come to our city, not to party and drink, but to get them to stick around and invest and build industries. We've all heard about Hollywood South. We only not want them to stay here. We want them to put up camp here. We want them to build studios. We want them to invest. We want money here. We need it. I mean, we got to build new homes. We need infrastructure. What do you think?
When I think about all the mayors, they don't need to be like Mitch. That's number one.
Amen to that.
Because Mitch, he's thinking about climate, study crime, and housing for the people. We need a mayor like what Frank said. I like everything he said because it's about jobs, it's about economics, it's about creating. But we got young people. Young people. You don't hear none of the mayors. I heard Mr. Frank Scurlock talk about the mayors, but see about the young people, but the rest of the mayors have not talked about the young people. And see, we got to talk about the young people. We got to find jobs. You can go to the business. They got 10,000 business. Say, look, hire one child. That's 10,000 jobs. Then the mayor who's coming in, he got to do an audit because we done got billions of dollars and the Ninth Ward look like a third world country. The New Orleans East look like a third world country.
And like you're saying, Mr. Baptiste, Scurlock saying New Orleans East has lots of land, lots of potential there.
They do. They have lots of land. But look, the mayor don't care, and James Gray don't care. He's the councilman in District E. If you ain't putting no money in James Gray's pocket, he don't really care.
You know what? Take a look at James Gray's ad of his supporters.
That's right.
I mean, that is the stores that he claims to be a part of.
That's
it's
right.
atrocious. Do you know you can't even go to a Bed Bath and Beyond
right.
in the city because they stopped them? Where are our big sporting goods stores? They don't exist. I mean, all the real retailers, Best Buy, where are they? Are they in New Orleans or they're in Metairie?
That's right.
They're not here.
That's
we
right.
need an international shopping center, and we need it now. We need tax dollars spent here. Every single day, I hear people earn the living in New Orleans, but yet they live elsewhere. They pay property taxes elsewhere. I don't want to say I want to put a toll for them to come here, but I ask them to give us a fair shake because we can only afford it when revenue flows through the city. Not Jefferson Parish, not Kenner, but the city of New Orleans.
And one more thing. The tourism, the Convention Tourism Board, they're sitting on $400 million, right? And he gave the police like $40 million. So we keep getting the police money. And what is the results? We're not getting no results. They're bringing cops from way out of town that don't know nothing about our city. We need community policing, and we need the people to get with the cops. Because when I was young, I had a cop named Mr. Reginald, right?
That you knew personally.
Huh? Yeah,
that's
I know him personally. Let me tell you, 5 years old, I was trying to rob this man out his money. Mr. Reginald said, boy, you better get there and warm my butt out, right? And my mom, I know it not to go tell my mama, because that was another whooping.
Yeah.
So we need cops like walking local. When Richard Pennington was here, he came with community policing. And see, if you got community policing like the cop got killed, Holloway was straight up with the community. I loved it.
All right, well, listen, guys, we got a lot of calls coming in. We got a lot of people in the studio, Mr. Baptiste, Mr. Scurlock. If you want to call in, and we got a packed line right now, 504-556-9696. We're going to be on till 9 o'clock. Again, if you want to call in, ask some personal questions to these candidates. They're here in studio, Battle of New Orleans Radio, and we're going to be right back. Hey, Machiavelli, we'll set it up one more time. We're doing good. We got a lot of people in the studio.
What's up, Carl?
Oh, we got a lot.
Last president of the United States of America.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago...
Hey, I'm starving. Let's go eat. What do you feel like?
I want a burger, and not just any burger. A thick, juicy Lakeview Harbor burger with a loaded baked potato.
Lakeview Harbor has more than just burgers. They have steaks, seafood, pizza, po' boys,
Well, order whatever you want. I know what I want, and it's one of those giant mouth-watering burgers, and I want it now. Let's go.
Lakeview Harbor, 911 Harrison Avenue. For New Orleans' best burger, it's Lakeview Harbor. Online at lakeviewharbor.us.
This is a tasty burger.
Hello, I'm Sharon Boland-Yerby. I'd like to invite you to join me for my brand new broadcast called The Change on WGSO 990 AM. I'll be airing beginning May 1st at 6 a.m. So join me every morning, Monday through Friday. Pour a cup of coffee and enjoy breakfast with me as we share together from the Word of God. It will be a life-changing broadcast, and it will impact your entire day. Every morning, Monday through Friday, beginning May 1st, right here at WGSO.
Jobs may change, but your retirement dreams don't have to. Roll over your retirement accounts from former employers into an Ameriprise IRA to help make your retirement dreams a reality. Call Ralph Leopold today at 504-322-2975. That's 504-322-2975. Office is located at Suite 1620 in the Galleria, Metairie, Louisiana. Ameriprise Financial Services, Incorporated. Member FINRA and SIPC. Ameriprise cannot guarantee future financial results.
Greetings, New Orleans. This is James Moises of Moises Wines, thanking you for 6 years of drinking my Pinot Noir from the Willamette Valley of Oregon. Seeing how my wine has become a big part of many of your memories and special occasions has surpassed my expectations. From me and the entire Moises Wine family, thank you for all your support. Let's toast with Moises Wines for the holidays and a happy and healthy new year. All the best. Cheers.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Halen Doty. Transgendered people will no longer be able to serve in the military after an announcement from President Trump. Richland Parish Congressman Ralph Abraham says the change makes sense. He says if someone decides to undergo a gender transformation while enlisted, it could hinder their service to the military.
You only sign up for 4 years, and if you're not able to fight for 2.5 of those, then that's really unfair to the rest of your platoon. It does become a very important readiness issue.
But the ACLU of Louisiana says this is clear discrimination. A Gallup poll finds 51% of Louisiana voters approve of the president's job performance. LSU political science professor Robert Hogan says that's not surprising since Mr. Trump carried Louisiana in the election with a whopping 58%.
They like the messages that he's sending about low regulation. He wants to repeal Obamacare, all those sort of issues that would resonate with voters, particularly the voters that put Mr. Trump into office.
Louisiana Radio Network.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Detective Big. This is Detective Money.
Morning, ma'am.
You were found carrying a big bag of cash. Can you explain this and just the facts, ma'am?
Well, okay. I bought this new instant scratch-off ticket, big money.
Yes, ma'am?
What?
You said big money.
Well, that's right.
Please proceed, ma'am.
Well, I scratched off these little circles of cash here.
Circles of cash? Go on, ma'am.
I guess it was my lucky day because I won big money.
What's that, ma'am?
What's what?
What did you win, ma'am?
Big money.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I won.
Won what?
Big money.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I think I understand.
Could you explain it to me?
Get the facts and play Big Money, the new $10 scratch-off from the Louisiana Lottery. Win up to $200,000. Win up to 20 times. Visit your lottery retailer today.
I'm not sure what the issue is. I like playing Big Money.
Is this some sort of game to you, ma'am?
Exactly!
Play Big Money from the lottery. Win up to $200,000. Must be at least 21 to purchase.
This is Jeff Cruier with my commentary of the day. A new Bloomberg poll shows that the American people are most concerned about the following issues: healthcare, the economy, jobs, taxes. Way down on the list is Russia. Americans realize that their lives are going to be impacted by their healthcare, their jobs, how much take-home pay they have, whether they're getting a raise, and how well the policies that our politicians are pursuing are helping or hurting them. Economic indicators show that the president is doing a great job. Gas prices are down, unemployment is down, jobs are up, consumer confidence is up. Yet despite the importance of all these issues, the media is obsessed with Russia, Russia, Russia. They don't care about informing, they just want to destroy. And their target is Donald Trump. But their target is also the 63 million Americans who voted for him. Let's say no to the fake news and their agenda. They're trying to hijack a legitimate election result, and let's not let them get away with it. More info on this and the other hot topics of the day, check out ringsidepolitics.com.
I have to get to sleep.
Tom had a stressful day, and now he can't shut down at bedtime.
Need sleep.
To fall asleep fast, millions of people turn to Unisom sleep gels. They're non-habit forming and quickly help you sleep soundly so you wake recharged. Tom? Unisom sleep gels. A stressful day deserves a restful night. Use as directed. Active ingredient diphenhydramine hydrochloride.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last president of the United States of America.
The very word secrecy is repugnant.
All right, we are back. Battle of New Orleans Radio, WGSO 990 AM. Look, we're going to go right to the calls. We have Nathan Lawrenson on line number 2 there, and he's going to ask a couple questions of the candidates. Go ahead, Nathan.
All right, what's going on, fellas? I just want to commend Mr. Scurlock and Mr. Baptiste for their efforts, and I truly support them, and I support what they're saying. But look, we have to get to the root of the problem. The root of the problem is internationalism, okay? In 1992, the United States of America signed on to a non-binding treaty called Agenda 21, or Sustainable Development. It became binding 2 years later by President Clinton and his Presidential Council. And this is the framework for global government. Now it's called Agenda 2030. And you see every facet of our lives is being manipulated by the United Nations at this point. It controls our police. It controls everything. It controls our education. It controls everything. And until we get ourselves out of this treaty, we don't stand a chance, fellas, because this regulates everything. And the way they implement the global government is through the planning and zoning departments. And what happened was in 2005, Walter Isaacson got named the head of the Louisiana Recovery Authority, and he teamed up with the Rockefeller Foundation to set the Louisiana Master Plan and dole out all of the grant money that took us over and usurped us, because the grant money that we was receiving all had United Nations tentacles in it, and by receiving this money, it implemented the global government on a local level. Then Walter Isaacson was named in the Planning and Zoning Department in 2016 by Mitch Landrieu. We see Mitch Landrieu sign us on to the Resiliency Cities organization. The Resiliency Cities is a Rockefeller Foundation, United Nations plan, and we were signed on to this by Mayor Landrieu. Then he signed us on to another United Nations agreement called the Strong Cities Initiative. The Strong Cities Initiative basically stealthily takes over our police department, and they do this through stealth. But this is internationalism, fellas, and until we get internationalism and the United Nations out of our pocket, you can forget about it. The United Nations runs our charter school system. The Aspen Institute, which Walter Isaacson ran for 14 years, started the New Schools for New Orleans charter school system. It's not for New Orleans. You can go in any city in this country, and it's called New Schools for Philadelphia, New Schools for New York City. It's an Aspen Institute, which is a UN, a United Nations non-governmental organization spinoff. Okay, LaToya Cantrell is being funded by the Aspen Institute. She was a 2014 graduate. This is why we've seen the monument removals happen. This wasn't organic by Mitch Landrieu. This was put forth by the Aspen Institute, because you go to St. Louis, where this is happening as well, the monument removal, the main pusher in St. Louis is Councilwoman Tashara Jones. Guess what? She graduated from the Aspen Institute and was the treasurer in 2014. She was a Rodell class member along with LaToya Cantrell. And until we start talking about the United Nations and these agreements that have usurped our sovereignty on a local level, you can hang it up.
Well, Nathan, hey, look, let's give the guys a chance to respond. We appreciate that, Colin. I know you're not able to come in the studio. We appreciate it. Hey, from the monument removal to, we were talking during the break, the forced gentrification, they're clearing out these African-American neighborhoods, and they're bringing in these hipsters from the Northeast for 3 times the price. They're clearing out these areas. They're using this crime as a variable to clear out the area. They did it in Detroit, guys. We saw it. For 30 years, they let Detroit go to crap. People gave up on Detroit, and these globalists bought up blocks and blocks for dirt cheap. It was all blighted. Everyone gave up on it, both the white and black community. They all picked it up, and now guess what's happening to Detroit, guys? They're pulling it all up. So I do think there's a lot of truth to what Nathan says, but let's go to Mr. Baptiste first, and we're going to hear Mr. Scurlock's opinion on it. Go ahead.
Mr. Nathan, I agree with you 100%. And I love that you said about the charter schools, because the teachers was fired, the charter schools was took over, and they miseducate our children. We got third graders, fourth graders, fifth graders that can't even read. We got teachers from Teachers of America. They don't even have no diplomas or nothing, so they teaching our children. So I agree with you 100%, and I love what you said, and so I agree with you.
You know, and I agree with you too, but the other thing, it's interesting that you say Detroit. And you got to stop and think about it for a second. What's Detroit really known for? Detroit is the motor city where the cars were made. Just last week, I was up in Cleveland, Ohio, had the opportunity to go up there and see Diana Ross. Diana Ross was at a casino. And you know what was right next door? An abandoned Ford factory. What's Detroit have full of? Abandoned automobile factories. And why is that? Because we sold ourselves out to China. We sold ourselves out to South America. And just like you said, Mr. Baptiste, a few minutes ago, it's all about jobs. We know Mr. Trump's been saying close the borders. Well, you know what? He's got it wrong. It's not close the borders to hearts. We got to close the borders to foreign trade. I actually was floating an idea earlier today with ships coming up the Mississippi River here. At least we have a riverboat union that controls that so they don't run into the sides of our river here to protect us. But they need to declare on those ships coming through here what percentage of items were actually made in America or made wherever. And quite frankly, the trade imbalance is ridiculous. And that's one of the things going back to New Orleans East and Jazzland and the whole area out there. It's not just here in New Orleans. It's not in Mobile. It's not just in Birmingham. It's everywhere in the country. Get out there and take a look at it. We're dying. When po' boys cost $12 and $13 for a po' boy, have you gone out and gotten a meal? Fast food meals for $3 are approaching $30. That's crazy. Last night, at least at the jobs forum, you know, I got to tell you, I've owned factories before. I built my inflatable rides, and you know what? When Katrina hit, we had over 200 retail stores, and when we lost our manufacturing, which is building the inflatable amusement rides, which used to be done here in New Orleans, I had no alternative but to go to China. And so I went there for 10 years, and you know what? It was fun for a while, but then it lost the luster. And I said, this isn't right. So starting about 18 months ago, we started a campaign to bring it all back here, and we just purchased 6 acres in eastern New Orleans, actually on Chef Mentor Highway in the 16,000 block, where we're going to open up one of the largest domestic manufacturing facilities for inflatable rides. It might not be all their jobs in the United States or the city, but I tell you what, it's a start in the right direction. And I want to be a person that stands up and puts America first, because that's what we need. The problem, you know, most people recognize New Orleans as, you know, the place you come here to party, have a good time, got great food, music. But let's be the change agent and let everybody look. And let's face it, we are the murder capital of the world. But you know what? We can change it. And I want to change it. Under my leadership, we will immediately do whatever it takes. And once we turn that and people feel safe here, then the industries will come. And then we'll have factories. Then we'll have warehouses, distribution. We will diversify. We will be, hopefully, we will become one of the most progressive cities in the United States. I was in Detroit just last week. And by the way, everybody knows about the rise and fall of the Motor City. Do you know that inside their airport, they have a monorail system that is absolutely unbelievable. And this is Detroit, not the biggest city in the United States. There's a monorail inside. There's that much activity. And I'm like, why can't we have something like that here? We need it. And we need a monorail going straight from the airport in Kenner, of all places, downtown. We should straddle the middle of the interstate. Do you know how many jobs that would create? Do you know how much traffic that would relieve off of the interstate? Has anybody besides me ever been in a rush to the airport to fly out of here? When you get stuck at 610 right there and you don't know what the state police are doing or if there's a wreck at Causeway, can't we be a little bit progressive? We have so much money. And by the way, speaking of money, that's not city money. That's not even state money. That's federal dollars which support that. But it takes leadership and an effort. And one of the biggest problems that I see in this city is it's not just the city of New Orleans. It's the city of New Orleans' failure to reach out and work with Jefferson Parish next door. Remember under Harry Lee many years ago, sadly, very sadly, they talked about actually putting a border between the two cities. And that was a tragedy. Okay, we need to mend the fences between our allies in the regional area. This is New Orleans and the reason. You know what? I saw some statistics today. and it was very, very sad. We were looking at the voter registrations that well over 50% of the people that claim to live in New Orleans actually don't.
So no.
That's right. I mean, quite frankly, it was down in the 40% of the 1.2 million people only live in New Orleans. But everybody says they live in New Orleans, but they don't. And you know what? They tell their friends they live in New Orleans. Come to New Orleans, party with us. Quite frankly, as a resident who lives in the French Quarter, they come, they party, they literally go to the bathroom on the streets and leave us with a dump. When these conferences come to town, right. These conferences come through New Orleans, like the Veterans Day. Now, granted, the veterans aren't an industry, but we have great conferences come here. They take advantage of our convention center, which is good. They take advantage of our restaurants and our hotels, which is good. The only problem is when these conferences come through, they pick up their toys or their pieces and they leave. I think we should retain them. Look at the World Trade Center building here. I know the Four Seasons is going to be nice, but let's be realistic. It's just a hotel. I would rather have what it originally was built for, and that was embassies and consulates from around the world to stimulate the economy. And lastly, at the airport, if you look at the floor, it says we are the gateway to the Americas, and that's what we need it to be.
Well, you know, I can't agree with you more, Frank Scurlock, candidate for mayor, and we're about to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I want to talk about the 9 Sewerage and Water Board employees tied to the brass thefts here in New Orleans that the Assistant Inspector General found. So we'll be right back right here on WGSO 990 AM Battle of New Orleans Radio with Frank Scurlock and Mr. Baptiste.
Sure.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Enjoy fresh fruit grown in your yard. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com delivers and installs fruit trees and fruiting vines to your home or condo. Proudly serving Kenner, Metairie, and New Orleans. Apples, apricots, blackberries, citrus, figs, grapes, peaches, pears, persimmons, plums, and raspberries. All the trees and fruiting vines are grown right here in South Louisiana. Check out the Fruit Tree Guide for more information and visit JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com today. It's a great time to plant. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com.
Whether you're in the real estate market to buy, sell, lease, or looking for someone just to manage your properties, look no further than Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties. She has 34 years experience and is an expert of all of the latest programs available to homeowners. She has been my trusted realtor for years now. So please call Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties at 504-858-9293. That's 504-858-9293. Renovations Your Way. They renovate to fit your needs with complete customer service from start to finish that goes way beyond the job. With over 20 years experience, and they are fully insured, and they support the Battle of New Orleans Radio to unite the metro area in the fight for liberty.
Visit us on the web at renovationsyourway.com or call me, Daniel, at 985-402-5916. That's 985-402-5916. renovationsyourway.com. Mention you heard about us on Battle of New Orleans Radio and receive a 10% discount.
Does your house have a clogged up toilet, faulty electrical wires, or AC or heater just isn't blowing properly? Well, call Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. Also specializes in new construction and covers the whole New Orleans metro area. So please, call our friend Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. That's 985-781-0418.
As the corporate media dies, MetroNow.com and TheDailyResistance.com continue to give you a decentralized and independent take on the latest current events as well as historical reference to help you wade through the propaganda of the prostitute media. Our mission is to inform the people of New Orleans about the issues of freedom, health, world events, and much more so that we as a community can thrive in the 21st century. Only with an informed public will we truly be free and independent. So take a look at MetroNow.com or TheDailyResistance.com as your independent news source.
Ooh-wee. Hey, David, that smell good. What you eating on?
Man, I'm eating on some shrimp I got from J&N Big Easy Seafood.
Man, I had to get me some of that.
Yeah, bro, they specialize in the delivery, catering of 20 pounds or more boiled or live shrimp, crawfish, catfish, crabs, frog legs, and much more.
And how do I get in touch with J&N's Big Easy Seafood?
Just call them up. Call 985-640-8822. That's 985-640-8822.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last president of the United States of America.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts.
And hey, everybody, we're back. Battle of New Orleans Radio right here in New Orleans, Louisiana, in the heart of the Crescent City. And I want to talk about the 9 more Sewage and Water Board employees tied to the brass thefts. Now, Howard Schwartz, the Assistant Inspector General for Investigations, answered some questions from the media today as he stood alongside New Orleans Inspector General Ed Quatrevo, who is a phenomenal guy at finding and digging up corruption in our city. But at the same time, they're trying to get rid of him, unfortunately. Jeff Crair did a great piece on this a few weeks ago, and I commended him for that. But you know, this is really crazy because you got Sewage and Water Board employees, stealing and embezzling. I mean, it says right here, they have been implicated in an investigation involving the theft of more than $500,000 worth of brass from the utility system. I mean, this is just, it's unprecedented. I mean, when the probe was revealed last December, the New Orleans Office of Inspector General announced 10 arrests were pending. 9 more arrest warrants were issued this month. Inspector General Ed Quatrevo announced Tuesday about those other 9 arrest warrants. And the employees in question were taking stolen water meter fittings to local scrap yards in return for cash, the Inspector General said. His office tracked the thefts from January 2013 and June 2016. During that span, the employees sold more than 17 tons of brass, an estimated loss of more than $526,000 for the Sewage and Water Board. I mean, Frank Scurlock, Mr. Baptiste, I mean, y'all are running for local city government. Frank's running for mayor. Mr. Baptiste is running for city council. I mean, guys, what are y'all going to do when y'all win? What are y'all going to do to change this, to stop stuff like this from reoccurring?
It's real simple. It's top to bottom, bottom to top. It's hit it right in the gut. Personally, I've been to the Sewage and Water Board. The morale there is pathetic. Upstairs at the Sewage and Water Board, the lack of maintenance. Both the bathrooms, by the way, men and women, the doors don't even close. If the doors don't close in the bathroom, what does that say about our system? No one cares. Absolutely no one cares. Look at the big studies that just came out about the lead in the water. Just yesterday, I went out there and ordered a one of these ionization type thing to protect myself. My mother died of cancer, okay, at a young age of 62. I take living life seriously. And I got to tell you, that's just the beginning, what you just found there. You ever try to get a response time from these guys? I mean, I will say there are a few good people there, but I tell you what, if they had better opportunities, same thing with the NOPD. You know what the biggest problem, especially when it goes back to the monument? Look at what we really learned. We have an amazing police department. At least they showed up and they stood strong and they did, regrettably, what they were told to do by the mayor's office, things that they were forced to do that they didn't want to participate in. However, at least we know that they have them. You tell me these guys that were abused by the guy who basically employs them, their commander-in-chief, the mayor, if they had an opportunity to go to work for Jefferson Parish, if they had to go to opportunity to work for those other cities out there like Houston's or Atlanta, that actually, by the way, pay bonus fees for recruiting. You know, I did live in Orlando for 10 years, back from 2001 to 2010. The economy was so strong there, especially in the theme park industry. You got bonuses, recruiting bonuses for suggesting people to come work there. Last night at the Jobs Council, I brought that up. Once again, it might sound kind of silly, but think about the vast employment that a theme park would create. And it's not just the theme park itself. It's all the service industries that comes in line, the new hotels, all the vendors. And by the way, it's a total keep it local thing. Our package to redevelop Six Flags in New Orleans East is called Preservation Place. Preservation Place plays on jazz, heritage. We also want to restore Lincoln Beach. Lincoln Beach is a natural resource sitting right there. It was built in 1939 and closed down more than 40 years ago. We have one of the greatest lakes in our country. If you look at the map of the United States, it jumps off the page. You short of the Great Lakes, you're looking at Lake Pontchartrain. How many places can we go to launch a boat in Orleans Parish? How many places can you go to rent a jet ski or pontoon boats? Very, very, very few. Our West End is a disaster. Where we used to have many years ago, pre-Katrina, all these great restaurants like Fitzgerald's and the Bounty, Augie's Durago. You know what we did? I got to tell you, I don't normally talk bad about people, but we gave Landrieu's restaurant, frozen food people, the absolute best spot on the lake next to the lighthouse. They got the best view, but they have the worst food. The only thing they have good there is a good bar with some appetizers at happy hour. But besides that, that's about it. Seriously, folks, think about it. Our redevelopment plan, if you go to the website, scurlockformayor.com, you'll see very simply, it says, let's make New Orleans fun again. And I say that in all seriousness because you know why? We have to laugh at ourselves for putting up with everything from the crime, for the potholes, the economic. Sadly, the education, and it all starts not only in the schools, but most importantly, it goes back to the home life, and the parents need to hold their children accountable. Let me ask you this, Mr. Baptiste, because you said some great statistics a few minutes ago about over 52% of unemployed African males, I believe.
Yes.
What percent do we know of a parent, of a child in school that has an incarcerated parent? Do we know anything about that?
No, we don't know about it, but it's good you brought it up because that's serious. And, you know, that's serious what you said because a lot of them got incarcerated. But the Sewage and Water Board thing, that I love that. That's a good thing. See, they got Cedric Grant over there. He runs Sewage and Water Board, and he also run all the gyms. So he got 2 jobs. So he really can't concentrate on Sewage and Water Board.
That's right.
But the meters they stole, guess who's going to have to pay that $1.2 million back? The citizens. And also, they got busted on timesheets. One dude he worked 28 hours in one day. How you going to work 28 hours? Whoever did that should have been fired. But Cedric Grant, anything Cedric Grant touch is bad. And that lead in the water, guess who the company is? Guess who the company is? The same company that did the water in Flint, Michigan. That's the same people that's doing the water here. That is a disgrace.
Well, having people sick is big business. I mean,
Yeah.
And if after 65, I mean, they don't really want you to live. They got to pay some Social Security back. But look, we're coming to a break. We got a couple lines open. If you want to talk to Mr. Baptiste and Mr. Scurlock, candidates for New Orleans government, call in 504-556-9696, and we'll be right back.
Frank touching it. Frank fired up.
Thursday night on The Truth Underground. It's back. Just when you thought it was dead, the next round of the Trump-Russia saga hits the airwaves this week. Something else is back too, but this is not being reported in the mainstream media. Let's find the connection between the Russia Trumpers and the Flat Earthers on this week's journey into the Truth Underground. Join me, Jim Revis, for a walk on the wild side of reality and discover what else could it mean. Thursday night at 9 p.m. right here on WGSO Radio.
Hi, this is Kate Delaney from America Tonight. The show kicks on at midnight, and I'm loving the overwhelming support in New Orleans. What a group of fantastic listeners here on WGSO 990 AM. Join me every morning to catch up on what I call the buzz in your backyard and mine. You'll hear some of the most interesting people on the planet from the world of business, politics, sports, and, well, just intriguing people with a story to tell. If you're around, give us a call. Don't worry, I'll spit out the number plenty of times on the air. Let's agree to meet at midnight right here on WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans.
Today, there's no telling where your business might take you or how quickly you'll have to react to market demands. Whether you need postcards designed, printed, and mailed quickly, a high-quality brochure, or training materials, Sir Speedy's got you covered. Attractive and compelling signs can create a big impact with prospects and customers. Working with Sir Speedy means you work with our sign experts who not only offer a wealth of formats and fabrication techniques, but will also integrate your signs into your overall marketing strategy. Sir Speedy gives you access to a skilled marketing team. With 40-plus years of experience, we understand the benefits of integrated marketing and can help you develop entire campaigns spanning a range of media both offline and online. Or if your strategy is already underway, we can help you get your next project out the door fast. Quick turnaround is in our name.
SirSpeedyNewOrleans.com.
The best in whining and dining daily. It's the Dine, Wine, and Spirit Show with Tim McNally from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM, New Orleans.
Alex Jones.
USA Radio News with Rod Williams-Dole.
I'm not sure the American people should pay for transgender surgery, but there are those who are already transitioned, and I think that they should be permitted to serve in the military.
Representative Leonard Land said he agrees with the president to a degree. White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders explains why President Trump is calling for the transgender military ban.
It erodes military readiness and unit cohesion, and made the decision based on that.
She was accused of being caught flat-footed about the story.
When the president made the decision yesterday, the Secretary of Defense was immediately informed, as were the rest of the national security team.
Julio Jones of the Atlanta Falcons lost a $100,000 earring in the lake while jet skiing. You have been listening to USA Radio News.
I'm Joseph Collins, CEO of Punch TV Studios. I would like to invite you to be a stockholder in Punch TV Studios for only $1 per share. When I heard about Punch TV Studios, at first, I didn't know what to think. Then everyone kept talking about it. I went to the website, and now I'm a Punch TV Studios investor. This is a tremendous opportunity for you and your family.
My children are my everything. I have to make sure that they are taken care of, not just for today, a future for my children.
Join me, and together we can build a multi-billion-dollar media company. Be part owner in Punch TV Studios for only $1 per share. Don't wait. This IPO stock offering is counting down to a close. Call now, 310-419-5914, or visit our website, punchtvstudios.com.
Buy your stock. Buy your stock. Buy your stock. Buy your Punch TV Studios stock.
We think it's a great investment. Buy your Punch TV stock today.
Who would have thought the Toy Story gets more involved? Here's USA's Chris Barnes.
Some high-tech experts had issued similar warnings in the past, but now the FBI is. So-called smart toys can contain sensors, microphones, cameras, data storage, even GPS and speech recognition technology that could disclose a child's personal information. The FBI is warning in some cases, toys with microphones can collect conversations and potentially share information like a child's name, school, activities, and other location info. I'm Chris Barnes.
Twin autistic toddlers are dead this afternoon after drowning in a Melville pool. Police say their mother pulled one of the 3-year-olds from the murky pool at a home while the other one was receiving CPR.
It's heartbreaking. I have 2 grandkids. One is a 3-year-old and one is turning 7. And I have a pool too.
This is USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Wayne Allen Root, otherwise known as Mr. Relentless. To be relentless requires constant energy. That's why I take NAD Plus Cell Regenerator from Life Extension. As we age, our cellular metabolism declines. But you can fight back with NAD Plus. NAD Plus provides advanced support for cellular health. It revitalizes your cellular energy. Now you can get NAD Plus at half off. That's 50% off retail price only for my listeners. Call toll-free 855-870-6622, 855-870-6622. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The president did what?
What does GRACE mean to you? For us, it means that in 3 years, Grace at the Greenlight, a 501c3 nonprofit organization, has served over 60,000 meals and distributed over 250,000 bottles of water to the street homeless in New Orleans. Grace at the Greenlight would like to thank Oral & Berry, LLC, for for sponsoring this week and making a difference in New Orleans. Orland Berry, LLC, a full-service law firm dedicated to its clients' goals and the community.
Some thunderstorms originating from the North Shore pushing to the south and east, affecting parts of Metro New Orleans. But most of that activity is diminishing and weakening. It could trigger additional storms for the late afternoon and early evening hours. A muggy night tonight with some warm temperatures after a hot day. Slow drop off of those temperatures. Early in the morning should be about 70s to near 80 degrees. Some spots may even be above that. Your afternoon tomorrow brings in the sunshine once again. The slim chance of a storm. That's going to be repeated again on Friday with all that heat. Be in that number when the New Orleans Saints play the Miami Dolphins in London. What better combination for your vacation than the pure excitement of London and the sophistication of Paris? Package includes airfare to London and return from Paris with Delta Airlines. Hotel for 4 nights in London. Eurostar from London to Paris. Hotel for 3 nights in Paris. Daily breakfast, hotel taxis, and transfers to and from airport. September 28th through October 6th from $19.99 per person at TravelCentralVacations.com. 504-834-7000. Ralph Sanji, WGSO.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last president of the United States of America.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are as a people.
Hey everybody, we're back. Battle of New Orleans Radio right here in the heart of the Crescent City in the CBD. And we got some callers that have been holding for quite a while. I see we got David, who's been holding for over an hour. What you got, David?
Well, good evening, as always, gentlemen.
Hey, how you doing, man? Thank you.
Hey, it's our duty. Well, as I was about to say, the only solution, and I mean this, and I mean the only solution, is to go back to the Constitution for the United States. And then you tell me, well, David, isn't that every candidate's goal? But at the same time, every single day they violate it. Now, people have to understand, without control of the deadly weapons of war and without the control of issuing our own money, we have no political power. Let me tell you, the Second Amendment, that does not mean that the government deems how many guns somebody could own or whether or not you can own a silencer or a high-capacity magazine. That means all the deadly weapons of war belonging to the hands of the people. Militia, that's just another word for people, except people who are armed, who are married to their land, that don't have to rely on any standing armies. The Constitution states that a standing army in times of peace should be avoided as dangerous to liberty, and the military and the government must be under strict subordination from the civil powers. Now, a lot of people, they'll tell me, well, David, what about crime? You know, the times are different. Things are out of control. I see things the same as always. We have a foreign occupying government occupying our city. And, okay, when we talk about crime, who commits most of the crime? Who brings the drugs in? I mean, for God's sakes, they've been caught in Vietnam. They were caught during Iran-Iraq-Contra. And now 90% of the world's heroin comes from Afghanistan. The United States controls that country. And then another thing is the Federal Reserve Bank. All this talk of business, so I commend everybody for it. But as long as we're using Federal Reserve bank notes and the people do not issue their own money, we have no power. Because, like I said, we have a foreign government occupying us, and the people. It is the right and the duty of the people to abolish a criminal government that is dangerous. That's dangerous to liberty, and that is carrying out war against. Not only there's a war on our minds, there's a war on our morals, a war of morality, and a lot of these the alt-right and the transgender LGBT community, those are high-level military operations, just like the false flag. I know I'm jumping around here, but there's a lot to talk about.
Well, hey, Dave, I want to ask you, do you have any questions for Frank or Mr. Baptiste? Mr. Baptiste is running for city council here in New Orleans, and also Frank Scurlock in studio is running for the mayor seat of New Orleans. Do you have any questions for either one of these gentlemen?
I'll just close by saying I really don't have any questions, but I do must tell them I commend anybody who tries to make a difference and tries to help. But I'm really to the point now that if we have 8 guys like these gentlemen occupying government, that's still not enough, because the whole structure, the whole system must be abolished, and the people must take back their power.
You're right about that, man. David, you hit it on the head, man. We're going to go on to the next caller. David, thanks for tuning in.
Let me respond to that, because I think he brought up an interesting point there. Obviously, we have some significant infrastructure problems, especially with the potholes and a whole bunch of other things here in New Orleans. One of the things in my administration we're actually going to propose is invest in New Orleans. Quite frankly, I don't know if people remember, many years ago, we used to have a New Orleans shoppers card. New Orleans shoppers card was long before Visa, long before American Express took off. What we're going to be proposing, we're working with some SEC lawyers right now to determine the ability to residents, or anybody for that matter, to invest in New Orleans and make a return of 6%. The city would receive that money and use that to fund capital projects. It's going to take billions of dollars to restore our streets, to put the infrastructure in place. But think about this. For those that have money, they can make 6% return. The city gets it, and in turn doesn't waste it, but invest it in a community that ultimately builds business. That's something that we're very serious about. It's a win-win situation. Quite frankly, I can't believe nobody else has done anything like this nationally.
And you're right about that, Frank. And we're going to go to our next caller. We're going to go to Kathy in Lakeview. What you got, Kathy?
Hi, I'm enjoying the show. Thank you for having me on. One of the things that the previous caller, he was all over the place, but he really knew what he was talking about. And before I give you my idea, I do wish that we would be more sovereign, not only the city of of New Orleans, but the state of Louisiana. And, when Gary was running for Congress, we went to Plaquemines, and, they were praying for money to rebuild a statue. And he's like, what the hell? He says, y'all are the richest parish in the country, and y'all are begging the country to give you money to rebuild some kind of statue and fountain. And, if we would just look and see our own wealth and see that we are a very important port, and that we do have oil, and, we are just so important to the United States, and we could become sovereign, we wouldn't have to ask the government. Because, a little example about, 7-8 years ago, when the Restore Act was passed, when the Restore Act was passed, everybody was so happy with
Right.
Landrieu. However, we had to give up 10 miles of our coastline.
Right.
So anytime the government gives you something, you lose something. But getting back to my idea with the mayor, I love your idea about the lake. And I feel like that we have forgotten. I have never forgotten about the lake. Because I grew up on the old beach. Sunning on with iodine and baby oil. I mean, that's like the biggest joke for anybody that was in the 60s. And, I always wondered, why did they put some kind of research center when they could have put a boardwalk? They could have put stores, and they could have put, it would have been so cool, and it's the only beach. And as you said, Lincoln Beach is much more beautiful when you go into it on a boat than Pontchartrain Beach was.
Right.
But Pontchartrain Beach was more accessible. But this is my idea.
Kathy, we got 2 minutes to the break, so if you got any questions, we got 2 minutes to the break. Go ahead.
I mean, I was for putting a streetcar down all the main thoroughfares. And a lot of people in Lakeview are, no, it's going to bring, in the low life. Well, you have the buses. I would love to have streetcars going to the lakefront and reestablish this lakefront. I mean, why is it all about Bourbon Street? Why can't it be to bring the lake?
You're right about that, Kathy.
You're exactly right. Quite frankly, we just need to bring back Smoky Mary. It's very simple. For those of y'all that don't know what Smoky Mary was, many years ago we had a train that actually brought people from the Central Business District all the way out to the lakefront. And that's actually part of our proposal with the whole package with Lincoln Beach and Jazzland. They have if you want to have some recreation, by the way, go hop on the Amtrak train and just go from the Union Passenger Terminal downtown just to Slidell. And spend the day, by the way, and walk around and see some hometown values there. Then turn it around later on in the afternoon and come back. That's a very inexpensive but yet fun, education, enjoyable. And you're absolutely right. But the reason that we don't have that boardwalk is because in '84, when the World's Fair came to town, that's when the Bat family decided to not compete against at that. They actually shut down the beach. And as we know, we had a very nice World's Fair, which, by the way, it was the last World's Fair on American soil. And that's what I personally lived at Disney for over 10 years in Orlando, and 40 million tourists a year can't be wrong. We need a fraction of that, and that's family entertainment. That's not drinking entertainment. That's not come here and get polluted and stuff. It's family. It's the whole thing, from retail, hotel nights, shopping, and experiences of living life.
You're right about that, Frank. And, real quick, I want to go to we're about to go to a commercial break, and we only have about 1 minute left until that commercial break. And I really love what the callers have been calling in and touching on. We got some good topics to talk about. And when we come back, we're going to go to Renee in North Carolina. They've been holding for a really long time. And then we're going to go to Chris in New York, and then Tony in Metairie. And we're going to get into it, and we're going to be real quick with the calls, and then we're going to open up the floor to both guests, Mr. Batiste and Mr. Scurlock, to see in their eyes what they believe will make the city better for everybody, what will turn back the economy on, what will turn on the economy, and also what can we do about the crime. I want to hear that from Mr. Batiste and also from Mr. Scurlock. Now, you already know, if you've been following me on Facebook, and if you've been following Mr. Scurlock, we have already done a show about crime, so we will touch on those same topics again. But once again, Battle of New Orleans Radio, WGSO 990 AM. We're going to a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Hey, David, that smell good. What you eating on?
Man, I'm eating on some shrimp I got from J&N Big Easy Seafood.
Man, I had to get me some of that.
Yeah, bro, they specialize in the delivery, catering of 20 pounds or more boiled or live shrimp, crawfish, catfish, crabs, frog legs, and much more.
And how do I get in touch with J&N's Big Easy Seafood?
Just call them up. Call 985-640-8822. That's 985-640-8822. As the corporate media dies, MetroNow.com and TheDailyResistance.com continue to give you a decentralized and independent take on the latest current events as well as historical reference to help you wade through the propaganda of the prostitute media. Our mission is to inform the people of New Orleans about the issues of freedom, health, world events, and much more so that we as a community can thrive in the 21st century. Only with an informed public will we truly be free and independent. So take a look at MetroNow.com or TheDailyResistance.com as your independent news source.
Whether you're in the real estate market to buy, sell, lease, or looking for someone just to manage your properties, look no further than Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties. She has 34 years experience and is an expert of all of the latest programs available to homeowners. She has been my trusted realtor for years now. So please call Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties at 504-858-9293. That's 504-858-9293. Renovations Your Way. They renovate to fit your needs with complete customer service from start to finish that goes way beyond the job. With over 20 years experience, and they are fully insured, and they support the Battle of New Orleans Radio to unite the metro area in the fight for liberty.
Visit us on the web at renovationsyourway.com or call me, Daniel, at 985-402-5916. That's 985-402-5916. renovationsyourway.com. Mention you heard about us on Battle of New Orleans Radio and receive a 10% discount.
Does your house have a clogged up toilet, faulty electrical wires, or AC or heater just isn't blowing properly? Well, call Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. Also specializes in new construction and covers the whole New Orleans metro area. So please, call our friend Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. That's 985-781-0418.
Enjoy fresh fruit grown in your yard. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com delivers and installs fruit trees and fruiting vines to your home or condo. Proudly serving Kenner, Metairie, and New Orleans. Apples, apricots, blackberries, citrus, figs, grapes, peaches, pears, persimmons, plums, and raspberries. All the trees and fruiting vines are grown right here in South Louisiana. Check out the Fruit Tree Guide for more information and visit JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com today. It's a great time to plant. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last president of the United States of America.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed.
Everybody, we're back. Battle of New Orleans Radio right here on 990 AM WGSO, right here in the heart of the Crescent City. We're here with Mr. Frank Scurlock, candidate for mayor of the city of New Orleans, and Mr. Belden Batiste, candidate for City Council District D. And I want to just open the floor up to both of these men that, guys, thank you for coming tonight to the show. Frank, I'm going to have you first go ahead and give me 3 minutes, man. Just lay it all out. What, in a general statement, what are you going to bring to the city?
Everything that it's not today, because I believe we need to hit a massive reset button, and that's why it's just not the mayor's office. It's quite frankly, it's the whole city council. And if you ever had the opportunity to go to either the mayor's office or the city council, you'll see that there's a great divide right there in that hallway. By the way, only one of the 3 elevators yesterday was working at Civil District Court, which is tied into the City Hall building. And that's a tragedy, just the lack of maintenance. There's human feces literally within 100 feet of the front door of City Hall. I mean, across the street is Duncan Plaza. That if the mayor actually went out in the front door, not his private door, but the front door, he would see what's really going on. Very, very sadly, that's the same plaza many years ago. Most people have probably heard of Mark Essex and the Howard Johnson sniper. You know what? When the monuments came down, it started dividing our city. Nothing has changed since then. You know what? The monuments is an incredibly touchy subject, but I got to tell you, they did it all wrong. What they should have done is let the people's voices be heard, not the politicians who wanted to just think they pleased everybody. Our polling actually shows that well more than 50% of African Americans over 50 years old wanted the monuments to stay. They're the ones that said you can't erase history. And so here's what my solution would have been on that particular topic, by the way. It's like Lee Circle, you know what? It's been sitting there by himself. That's a huge area, one person. We should have renamed that Statuary Circle. I was up in Indianapolis recently, and they have a very similar circle. But you know what? They have about 12 statues there. We have other great people. Look at Mark Mayoral. Look at his dad, Ernest Mayoral. Let's recognize them. Let's recognize Dorothy Mae Taylor. Let's recognize Andrew Higgins. Let's recognize Harry Connick Jr. Let's recognize, heck, Mr. Kern from Mardi Gras. How many local legends do we have that we could actually pay tribute to? Same thing with Jefferson Davis, okay? Jefferson Davis Parkway should be renamed Statuary Parkway, restore the monuments, and add. We have great universities here. We have Tulane, we have Loyola, we have UNO. We should have put it to the students, to the professor, because you know what? If you've ever read an encyclopedia, if you've ever joined a book club, history grows. You don't remove chapters. That's the big problem. They tried to suppress our knowledge. And, you know, it's a very touchy subject. Look, I understand that. There's no winner here. But there doesn't have to be a yes or a no. There's room for compromise. And that's what it got out of control. And, you know, right now we have defaced monuments that have graffiti. There wasn't even a plan to clean up their mess. That's the whole problem. There's lack of planning in this whole city. We go spend money. We have things happening here, but we never follow through. We never maintain it. You know what the sad news is? The current economy in this city? It's not even sales tax. The economy is based on speeding cameras and parking tickets. I watched today one of this company come up with select services and actually boot 2 cars next to my office. What a tragedy that was. These are people trying to do business. Actually, they were next to the Nelson Building, and if you don't know what the Nelson Building is, that's basically the headquarters for Hollywood South. That's where the producers of Treme are. It's the producers of other major motion pictures that come through here. And we greet them with parking tickets and boots. Same thing over at the House of Blues. If you go to a concert there, look what the meter maids do at nighttime. They put parking tickets on traveling groups that come through town. I actually saw a UPS truck yesterday delivering a package at 10 o'clock in the morning. How does it take a UPS guy to go knock on a door, give somebody a package and leave? In the CBD, they gave them a parking ticket. How do they expect something to happen? They're running away. That's the reputation. So we need a total reset of this entire city. City council, mayor. I know of very few people. I will say this. We got some great educators. We have some great men in blue. Okay, but you know what? They're held back. And I don't want to hold them back. I want to make it very simple. The day that I become mayor of the city, we're going to have a meeting of well more than 1,900 city employees with a budget of over $600 million. Just like Jesus said, sin no more. I want to move it forward. We accept the past and say it's a new day in town. And most importantly, I'll say, what do you need to go forward? So I will basically be a mayor that will unite all the civil servants, unite the entire city to take New Orleans from where it currently is, and it's pretty much near the bottom of the barrel. And will settle for nothing short of making New Orleans the best city in the world.
That's great, Frank. And now we're going to go to Mr. Baptiste. What you got, Mr. Baptiste?
My thing will be the first thing I do, get the minimum wage up. I want to get it up to $15 an hour. I travel to Baton Rouge to fight with the legislators to get it. Then I want to ban the box. Ban the box is people, when you do an application, they ask you, do you have a criminal record? And when they say you have a criminal record, they throw it in the box. So I want to ban the box. Then I want equal pay for the women. The women deserve equal pay. Then also I want to get rid of the police chief. He got to go. I want to get rid of Miss Linda Westbrook, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. She is over PIB to investigate cops. Them two are leaking information to get citizens killed. That's the first two I will get rid of, but I will be a fighter for the people, and I want to see youth have jobs. I want to see youth doing a lot of things, us creating real programs for the youth and not taking the money. You know, you got 501c3 programs telling you they're doing all this work and they're putting the money in their pocket while our children are dying on the street. So we got to go after everything, every opportunity to stop this crime. We got to go at it hard as we can go at it, bring every resource that we can bring education, bring public schools back, get rid of the charter schools, and then we got to fill the potholes. We got the answer to the night ward, the New Orleans East. We got to bring the communities back, but most of all, we got to stop gentrification because it's moving everybody out. The city of New Orleans is taking over the city of New Orleans, and we got to fight it. We got to fight it hard, and the people are the power. The people got to stand. Groups got to come together, and we got to hold the people in office accountable. If I'm the councilman, hold me accountable. Hold me accountable because you are my boss. So we got to stand up, we got to fight, and we got to keep it going, you know. But like I say, these police, we got to make our police the best in the country. We got to make our police the best in the country, but keep local jobs, local housing. So, you know, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll fight for. But again, I'll get rid of the police chief and the lady over PIB, Mr. Linda Westbrook, because they're leaking information and getting citizens hurt.
I got you, Mr. Baptiste, and that was great, man. So we're going to a short radio break, guys, and then we'll be back on Battle of New Orleans Radio.
night for Politics with a Punch. It's Louisiana's version of Politically Incorrect. I serve as MC of this great show. Our panel includes media stars John Osterlin and Travers Mackel, political power broker Republican Chair Roger Villery, all-star comedians, and more. The doors open at 6. The event begins at 8 at the beautiful Eiffel Society, 2040 St. Charles Avenue. Tickets are available at the door or for a discount at ringsidepolitics.com. See ya Thursday night.
This is Alex Jones. Listen to me on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com, the only locally owned independent news talk station in New Orleans. My show airs Saturdays from 4 to 6 p.m. and Sundays from 7 to 9 p.m. Check it out to learn the real truth about what the globalists and the elites are planning and how you can fight back. Saturdays from 4 to 6 p.m. and Sundays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM.
Hi, I'm Dickie Brennan, and I'd like to invite you to our new Black Duck Bar located on the second floor of Palace Cafe. Rum is the chosen spirit of Palace Cafe's Black Duck Bar and features an extensive rum collection from all over the world. Be sure to join us for happy hour Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. with half-price small plates, local draft beer, and tap wine. Look forward to seeing you soon at Palace Cafe's new Black Duck Bar.
Hello, I'm Sharon Boland-Yerby. I'd like to invite you to join me for my brand new broadcast called The Change on WGSO 990 AM. I'll be airing beginning May 1st at 6 a.m. So join me every morning, Monday through Friday, pour a cup of coffee and enjoy breakfast with me as we share together from the Word of God. It will be a life-changing broadcast and it will impact your entire day. Every morning, Monday through Friday, beginning May 1st, right here at WGSO.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Jeff Palermo. Congressman Steve Scalise has been discharged from the hospital to begin intensive inpatient rehabilitation.
Doctors released a statement saying the House Majority Whip from Jefferson Parish has made excellent progress in his recovery from a life-threatening gunshot wound 6 weeks ago. They say Scalise is in good spirits and is looking forward to his return to work once he completes rehabilitation. The Jefferson Parish congressman was shot on June 14th when a gunman opened fire during a GOP baseball practice in Virginia. Once at the hospital, Scalise needed several surgeries for his injuries and more surgery weeks later to deal with infections. I'm Michelle Southern.
A Gallup poll finds 51% of Louisiana voters approve of President Trump's performance. LSU political science professor Robert Hogan says voters in the Bayou State will maintain their support for Mr. Trump even if his agenda fails to pass.
He's going to blame the Democrats or the media or someone else.
Louisiana Radio Network.
Families are talking about University View Academy, Louisiana's top-performing K-12 tuition-free public online school for several years running.
I wanted to find something that had a good curriculum and something that was flexible. The books are shipped to our house. There is no tuition. It is public school online.
Not only have they met the academic standards, but they have exceeded them.
Learn more and enroll today at universityview.academy/Louisiana.
This is Trace Atkins for the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation. Louisiana farmers and ranchers dedicate their lives to producing the food we eat and the clothes we wear. Agriculture touches all of us every time we sit down at the table. So support Louisiana agriculture by joining Farm Bureau. And you don't have to be a farmer to join. If you're already a member, we thank you. Your membership supports farmers and ranchers right here in your local community. The Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation, the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
This is Jeff Cruier with my commentary of the day. A new Bloomberg poll shows that the American people are most concerned about the following issues: healthcare, the economy, jobs, taxes. Way down on the list is Russia. Americans realize that their lives are going to be impacted by their healthcare, their jobs, how much take-home pay they have, whether they're getting a raise, and how well the policies that our politicians are pursuing are helping or hurting them. Economic indicators show that the president is doing a great job. Gas prices are down, unemployment is down, jobs are up, consumer confidence is up. Yet despite the importance of all these issues, the media is obsessed with Russia, Russia, Russia. They don't care about informing, they just want to destroy. And their target is Donald Trump. But their target is also the 63 million Americans who voted for him. Let's say no to the fake news and their agenda. They're trying to hijack a legitimate election result, and let's not let them get away with it. More info on this and the other hot topics of the day, check out ringsidepolitics.com.
Hi, this is Kate Delaney from America Tonight. The show kicks on at midnight, and I'm loving the overwhelming support in New Orleans. What a group of fantastic listeners here on WGSO 990 AM. Join me every morning to catch up on what I call the buzz in your backyard and mine. You'll hear some of the most interesting people on the planet from the world of business, politics, sports, and, well, just intriguing people with a story to tell. If you're around, give us a call. Don't worry, I'll spit out the number plenty of times on the air. Let's agree to meet at midnight right here on WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans.
Jobs may change, but your retirement dreams don't have to. Roll over your retirement accounts from former employers into an Ameriprise IRA to help make your retirement dreams a reality. Call Ralph Leopold today at 504-322-2975. That's 504-322-2975. Office is located at Suite 1620 in the Galleria, Metairie, Louisiana. Ameriprise Financial Services, Incorporated. Member FINRA and SIPC. Ameriprise cannot guarantee future financial results.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last president. Ladies and gentlemen, the last president of the United States of America.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are
And guys, we are back. Battle of New Orleans Radio live right here in the heart of the Crescent City. And, you know, we're talking to two very great guys in the city of New Orleans. We got Frank Scurlock and we have Mr. Baptiste. And, you know, we got a lot of callers holding. I'm going to go to one of my favorite callers of the night, the one and only Gene from Mayoral. What you got, Gene? How are you?
How you doing?
Hey, yeah, Gene, is it the same Gene I'm thinking of?
Oh, yes, it is.
Cool. All right. Well, anyway, look, man, nothing crazy. We don't want to get, you know, anything out of hand, but you had some questions for our guest, or what you got?
This is Gene, but everybody knows me as Tattoo the Bounty Hunter. And I'm in the city every night, every day. I see everything that goes on. I commend both candidates for what they're going to do and what they say they want to accomplish with, you know, the respects of the economy and building business. Now, this is what I have to ask them in reference to Vera and the bail system as it stands now.
Right. Well, you know, Scurlock, what you got for that question?
You know, I don't know the answer to that, but I'll tell you what I do know. Very sadly, I was wrongfully arrested at the Jefferson Davis statue. They said I crossed the police line, which I didn't. I actually went to central lockup. I spent my 6 hours at Orleans Parish Prison. And you know what I saw there? I saw people that had on orange jumpsuits. And that was one thing with the prisoner wears. But then I saw them that had X1, X2, X3, all the way up to X5. And if we have to have an X5 system, that means we have a rotating door. And that's exactly the problem that we have. People can actually literally get themselves put in jail, go to Orleans Parish Prison, and they can get complete medical services for $5. They can get their prescriptions filled for $3. They can get their dental services for $5. Anybody been to the dentist and know how much it costs to go get a filling or a root canal? I mean, it's really sad. Our system is completely backwards. And it's because of that broken system, the repeat offenders. And once again, I don't know the first thing about the bail system. I will say the night that I was wrongfully arrested, I called bail bonds companies. No one answered. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. They signed, said they're open 24 hours. But you know what? Apparently there's something wrong with that. And I have read some news articles about some bail bonds companies being investigated. And I certainly know there is a distinct tie-in between bail bond companies, lawyers, and the criminal justice system. It is really a rotating door, and that is the root of our problem.
Yep, that's exactly correct. And Gene, what you got?
Well, here, you know, there's good and bad in every system you look at. There's a lot of guys and women in blue that are good, just like a lot of bail that's good. Now, this is something that you say you don't know a lot about bail, but do you know the bail system actually supports financially the judicial system as it stands?
No, I don't. But you know, it's a tragedy, and quite frankly, what I do know from going through there is there's a complete unbalanced situation, especially when it comes to the public defender's office and it has the prosecution. This is an interesting thing for me to say. But when I was in Orleans Parish Prison in the central lockup area for 6 hours, I met some amazing people. Amazing people at the prisons? You're right. Everybody has a heart. Everybody has a soul. And I got to tell you, sadly, the reason the vast majority of these people were there, they were either homeless or unemployed, and they just wanted an opportunity. And I met one particular prisoner that I had to ask him what he was in for. And, I've never been to jail, much less arrested. I've never been in a police car before. And when I asked him, I said, what are you in for? He said he stole. I had to ask him what he stole. And you know what he told me he stole? He stole underwear. He was already homeless, and he was about to be naked, and he didn't want to publicly humiliate himself. That's how bad the economic situation is in this city.
Listen, look, we're about to go Facebook Live on our Battle of New Orleans page. I got a quick question before we take any further calls. We got 3 more calls, and we got 504-556-9696. Yeah, we go on to the next call.
Well, hey, Gene, real quick. So this is Tattoo the Bounty Hunter?
Yes, it is.
It's not Gene Black?
No, it's Eugene the Bounty. It's Tattoo the Bounty Hunter from the show Big Easy Justice.
Oh, yeah, man. I remember in a red Charger, huh?
I had the red Charger.
There you go, brother. Well, I used to love the show, man. Well, hey, look, brother, appreciate you calling in. We got a lot of callers on hold, and we have a short time left on the show. I look forward to hearing from you in the future next week. And you have a good night, man.
Listen, I have a question for our 2 guests, Mr. Baptiste, Mr. Scurlock. Look,
Yes.
LaToya Cantrell and these other city council entities are saying they're tiptoeing around the red light cameras. Look, our producer got a red light camera ticket the other day. We've all been hit by it. Everybody has. Whether you're poor, rich, white, black, doesn't matter. If you live in Orleans, they're getting everybody. LaToya Cantrell, Mr. Scurlock is saying, you know what? We're gonna take down those red light cameras. Then a day later, she goes, we're gonna do a study to see if those are feasible entities that need to be allowed to stay up. Now, my question to you 2 guys, what's your take on the red light cameras, and what are we going to do about this?
Well, my take on the red light cameras is to get rid of them. I mean, because I watch people around City Hall daily, and they run in there and run out, and then they got a boot on their car, but they're there to take care of their taxes, their bills, and all that. So if me being the city council, my first act I got a lot of first acts, but I'll get rid of the red light cameras. And when you talk about the red light cameras, let's talk about them. If you get a fine for $35, New Orleans get 10, and 25 go out of town. Why we can't manage our own tickets at our own thing? That means extra jobs for people and everything. But the red light cameras gotta go.
All right, Mr. Scurlock, what's your take?
Well, my take is a little bit different. Okay, first off, the red light cameras, obviously people need to respect red lights. I'm in favor of maintaining the red lights. However, I think they should be fully adjusted to allow for a complete yellow plus a grace period. And the red light camera should be for just outright violation that somebody blows through an intersection. When I lived in Florida, we had scan cameras, especially in the tourist district right there, to scan license plate, not to see who doesn't have unpaid parking tickets, but national offenders, national drug trafficking, national human trafficking. And the one thing I will meet you on is on the speeding cameras. I think those should be removed entirety, with the exception they should be preserved in school districts and school districts only. It is a tragedy. They've set people up. When you get off at Florida Boulevard off of 610, it sets you up. I mean, everybody's probably gotten a ticket at that spot. And then on St. Charles Avenue and other areas, it's no fair. Just like they said, it's a complete violation of the Constitution. And here's the greatest thing. And I know this has happened because I've had people tell me about this. If somebody doesn't like somebody, they go borrow their car and they start driving through these speeding cameras, so they intentionally get tickets against them because the car gets the ticket, not the individual. How wrong is that? When I was up in Cleveland last week, I saw an old-fashioned thing. I saw an old-fashioned motorcycle cop, which, by the way, the New Orleans Police Department still to this day maintains an amazing fleet of Harley Davidson. I can remember hearing that thunder. I want to see cops on the beat. I want to see the cops interacting. I don't want to see silver poles with cameras on it taking pictures of speeding cars. I want cops to get out there so everybody sees them. Not only the good, but most importantly the bad. Then the criminals will start respecting the criminal justice system. And that's the only way, is to get them from behind the desk out on the street and in public view.
Right. Yeah, you're definitely right. But, my take on the photo enforcement cameras are, I just really want to see them completely removed because, I feel violated, I feel as if my Sixth Amendment right to the U.S. Constitution as a United States citizen under the Confrontation Clause, where I have the right to face my accuser, is violated in this photo enforcement operation that Mitch Landrieu and the city has going on right now, which in 2016 made them hundreds of millions, and then in 2017 they doubled it in size and added the vehicles that they park at random spots throughout the city that you'll never find where they're going to do it at. It's never announced. They're supposed to put a sign up near the vehicles within 500 feet, but instead you see a sign laying next to a light pole on the ground that you can't even see. So they're supposed to notify you in reference to it, but they don't even do that. Yep. So your right to face your accuser, how am I going to face my accuser when my accuser is a machine, and I've called the companies that make these things and they have told me they're not 100% accurate. So my trust and faith and everything in these photo enforcement programs is just null and void. I mean, I just want to see them completely abolished.
Well, I'll take it one step further, and I appreciate what you just said there. Keep in mind, I want to get rid of the speeding cameras, but I am in favor of protecting the school zones. And I do think, just as much as we all know that in today's day and age, you basically have to have a video witness, like in the case of crime. There's so many surveillance cameras out there, not necessarily to penalize a person, but to be there as evidence should they ever need. And the biggest thing we all should be concerned with is our insurance rates in our car. Just last week, I priced out the difference between New Orleans, Louisiana, and Brooklyn, New York. Do you know that Brooklyn, New York is half of the rate on the exact same car? And that's because of lack of enforcement. Once we actually change the enforcement here, once we get more cops out on the street, once the rating authority, by the way, for insurance companies, they look at the traffic patterns. It's the demographics, right. And most importantly, they look at the legal system as well.
Yep, you're right about that, man. And we're going to another break, guys, and this will be our last break, right?
Yep.
This will be our last break, and then we'll come back with another segment right here on 990 AM WGSO.
Ooh-wee. Hey, David, that smell good. What you eating on?
Man, I'm eating on some shrimp I got from J&N Big Easy Seafood.
Man, I had to get me some of that.
Yeah, bro, they specialize in the delivery, catering of 20 pounds or more boiled or live shrimp, crawfish, catfish, crabs, frog legs, and much more.
And how do I get in touch with J&N's Big Easy Seafood?
Just call them up. Call 985-640-8822. That's 985-640-8822.
Whether you're in the real estate market to buy, sell, lease, or looking for someone just to manage your properties, look no further than Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties. She has 34 years experience and is an expert of all of the latest programs available to homeowners. She has been my trusted realtor for years now. So please call Paula Bourne with Plantation Properties at 504-858-9293. That's 504-858-9293. Renovations Your Way. They renovate to fit your needs with complete customer service from start to finish that goes way beyond the job. With over 20 years experience, and they are fully insured, and they support the Battle of New Orleans Radio to unite the metro area in the fight for liberty.
Visit us on the web at renovationsyourway.com or call me, Daniel, at 985-402-5916. That's 985-402-5916. renovationsyourway.com. Mention you heard about us on Battle of New Orleans Radio and receive a 10% discount.
Does your house have a clogged up toilet, faulty electrical wires, or AC or heater just isn't blowing properly? Well, call Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. Also specializes in new construction and covers the whole New Orleans metro area. So please, call our friend Herman with Superior AC, Electrical, and Plumbing at 985-781-0418. That's 985-781-0418.
As the corporate media dies, MetroNow.com and TheDailyResistance.com continue to give you a decentralized and independent take on the latest current events as well as historical reference to help you wade through the propaganda of the prostitute media. Our mission is to inform the people of New Orleans about the issues of freedom, health, world events, and much more so that we as a community can thrive in the 21st century. Only with an informed public will we truly be free and independent. So take a look at MetroNow.com or TheDailyResistance.com as your independent news source. Enjoy fresh fruit grown in your yard. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com delivers and installs fruit trees and fruiting vines to your home or condo. Proudly serving Kenner, Metairie, and New Orleans. Apples, apricots, blackberries, citrus, figs, grapes, peaches, pears, persimmons, plums, and raspberries. All the trees and fruiting vines are grown right here in South Louisiana. Check out the Fruit Tree Guide for more information and visit JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com today. It's a great time to plant. JohnnyAppleseedTrees.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last president of the United States of America.
All right, Battle of New Orleans Radio, we're back. Look, we only got one segment left. We're going to hammer through these calls. Please, if we have 4 calls left. You guys have hung on patiently. We're going to go right through you guys. Ask a question, hang up, and we're going to let our guests answer at the end of this segment. We're going to go to Renee in North Carolina. Renee, please make it within maybe 60 seconds. Thank you.
Yes, I think I'm really appreciating the unity that I'm hearing because it's the only way to win. The thing is, they've been using divide and conquer against us for a very long time. There's a man named Tim Wise. On YouTube, he has a video that's 9.5 minutes long, how white people have been duped in America. And he explains how the poor whites and blacks, how they figured out how to divide them against each other, to work against each other. The thing is, there was something in the past called the Head Right program. Bet y'all have never heard of it, okay? The Head Right program, if you look it up. Well, see, because only the British were given hundreds of millions of acres, and the poor whites and blacks were starting to realize they were getting their clock cleaned, and they had to figure out a way to pit them against each other to save themselves. And Tim Wise explains this in 9.5 minutes. And so the thing is, I really am enjoying the unity I'm hearing tonight because it's the only way to win. People have to wise up on how they have been manipulated by eliminating the history that would actually teach them what went on in the past, where they would have more power to stand up. And so, because I'm from Louisiana, I'm a Cajun, I'm French, and I want New Orleans to do well, and I want to tell both you gentlemen thank you. I've enjoyed this so much because, like the one gentleman said, there was a solution. The way he said to make up that Statue Avenue or whatever, there was a solution, but that would not have divided
Renee, listen,
people.
And we're going to let our candidates take and respond at the end of this segment. Okay, we're going to go to Chris in New York. You've been holding on for about an hour. Go ahead. Make a quick comment within 1 minute.
What's up, guys? My question is for Mr. Scurlock. Frank, what do you see as being the biggest strength for your campaign and also being the biggest weakness in your campaign?
All right, thank you. Go ahead and respond real quick.
Really simple. The biggest strength is nobody owns me. I'm an entrepreneur with a pure heart and a clean vision for the city. I'm right now currently 100% self-funded. I personally injected well more than $500,000 of my own personal money. So once again, I don't need influence. I mean, if you just look at one of my main competitors, Desiree Charbonnet, she has $800,000 before qualifying even began. I mean, and that's crazy. That's people trying to buy influence. As far as the weakness, once again, I'm the entrepreneurial candidate. I'm not the career politician, so I do have some catching up with some name recognition. However, our campaign just spent yesterday $60,000 on TV commercials. A lot of people do know me, but it certainly would take a lot more. But the realistic is less than 20% of the candidates are white, as opposed to an African American majority city. I actually think there's going to be a huge division between them, and I'm just going to rise to the top. And once again, I'm going to go and I'm going to unite. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the skin color. The only thing that matters is we're in New Orleans, but most importantly, even more than that, we're American, and we're going to put ourselves first.
And we got independent candidates, grassroots candidates. That's the thing. And we don't have these globalist entities like puppets like Latoya Cantrell, which we've exposed. And we'll see what happens with that. Okay, we're going to Tony and Metairie. Go ahead. Quick comment, quick.
Hey, guys. All night y'all been talking about different projects everywhere and things to do for New Orleans, Lincoln Beach, Lakefront.
Pontchartrain Beach.
Yeah, fix the potholes, taxes, Jazzland. I've made little notes about all of that. You know what? All these things have been talked about before. I'm 66 years old, and I can think back when my years and over what's supposed to be done. I can go back to when potholes in the 60s were around when I was driving a motorcycle at 15.
All right, Tony, what's your comment? Because we don't have much time.
Well, the thing of it is that you're facing a very, I don't know if you guys understand it or not, but there are three forms of capitalism out there. You have government capitalism subsidies. You have the predatory capitalism, which is your corporations and businesses that move in and take over mom and pop. And the only thing left, which is slowly being eroded, is called free market capitalism.
All right.
Free market is you and I. But here's another thing I found out just interesting.
Make it quick, Tony.
Okay. That colleges now are duping the students to go to college to get degrees in education. I got a friend of mine filled out 700 applications, never got one job, and found out that all of the jobs that were alleged to be available are now to corporations.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
Capitalists, what they're doing.
Okay, Tony, we got to go, man. We got to go to the last caller. Nathan Uptown, go ahead. You got 30 seconds.
Yeah. My question is, I think we need to make downtown inviting again by getting rid of all these predatory meter maids and by lowering the meters back down to $1.50 like they were before. I'd like to get y'all.
And look, listen, and my take on it's like this, Frank, you have no choice as far as Latoya Cantrell. You got to take the stance of getting rid of the cameras, I think. I know you might not agree with that because she's going to go tiptoe back and forth. She's a major competitor. She's backed by these entities, we think. I personally suggest you do what you want, but I think you got to go to take out the red light cameras at all costs. So look, we got 1 minute left. Let's go with Mr. Batiste. Final statement, 30 seconds.
My final statement is I'm going to get rid of red light cameras.
There you go. And I agree with that. And Frank, you don't have to feel pressure to say that, but I'm saying Latoya is back and forth. And you gotta
I'm very firm about my position, and it is get rid of them, but it's actually give people a chance. Think about this: when you're in an accident, everybody wants to see how that accident occurred. It will only be used to protect people, not to punish people. And in all fairness, due to what this man just said, the big difference between myself and entrepreneur candidate, quite frankly, I don't know of any other real entrepreneur candidate this city's ever had. I mean, I hate to say this, but I'm the closest thing to a Donald Trump in New Orleans, but I'm certainly not Donald Trump. I have no affiliation with that. What I am is I'm a get-it-done guy. And quite frankly, my passion is serving people. I built an entertainment company doing that all my life for over 40 years in the workforce. I sold it to pursue this. And quite frankly, that's what I will have my constituents hold me accountable, because that's what I want to do. And the closest thing we had, by the way, that I'm aware of a business person was actually when John Georges wanted to run. He didn't actually say what type of business he ran. And the last thing is Ray Nagin. He didn't own a business. He worked for a conglomerate. I put my money where my mouth is, and I will do the same thing here with the city. I will lead it forward.
Well, look, we're coming to the end of the show. Look, prayers out to Caleb Hidd, our correspondent in Ohio, man. Hang in there. Prayers to your mother and her illness. Mr. McAvell, you want to close it out? Go ahead. Thank our guests. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to thank our guests. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Mr. Batiste. And I also want to say to Caleb that we will be praying for your mother. And also I want to say rest in peace, Jacob Mizell, one of my old friends from college who died in a motorcycle accident in San Francisco just a few days ago. So rest in peace. And we will continue the fight here in New Orleans. Battle of New Orleans Radio, 990 AM WGSO.
All right.
That was nice.
I'm Jeff Bruere.
I'm Eric Asher. You can always catch us on the radio right here on WGSO 990 AM.
Did you know you can catch us on TV?
That's right, Jeff. We're on WLAE TV.
Join me every Friday on Ringside Politics with a Punch at 7:30 with a rebroadcast Sunday at 10 p.m.
Check me out every Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. and a rebroadcast Friday at 10 p.m. for Inside New Orleans Sports.